My name is Tony Davis, owner and artist of Samsara Custom Tattoo.
Luke's here.
I'm Sophie and I'm a tattoo apprentice at Samsara.
Stay out of mine. Stay out of it.
My name's Matthew Martin and I'm 18 years old.
Michael Tkachuk, I'm 21.
I think it was just, I loved them, you know what I mean? From day one I wanted to have a tattoo, and you know, the more you got into it, the more you saw the art and the, you know, and the imagery as well. I just love the imagery. And the more I got into it, the more I wanted to have them, the more I wanted to do them.
I don't know, I've just always liked the art form of it. I've always liked art in general. I just thought it's like a really cool kind of thing to do. I don't know, like I've always grown up with them. Like my parents have them, a lot of my family members, and I just always liked them, so love it.
The first tattoo was actually that barbed wire around my wrist. I did it myself with a homemade tattoo gun when I was about 14 or 15. Didn't make my parents very happy, like.
Honestly, I did not know I was getting it. My dad woke me up at 9 o'clock on my 18th birthday and told me I was going for a tattoo, and I had all of 30 minutes to pick one out. So it was a spur of the moment, and then it became an addiction.
My first tattoo, I was 13 years old, maybe even 12, and I was in Maryport, and I must have been hanging around with like 18-year-olds and 18-year-olds at the time, and all of them were like covered in tattoos, sleeves, neck tattoos, face tattoos, head tattoos, stuff like that, do you know what I mean? So I felt like I needed to get a tattoo, so I went to the local tattooist and got like Morton wrote on my there, just as it's my second name. And halfway through the tattoo, the tattooist put his head in his hands like this and was like, I've messed up. So about a month later I went and got it redone in Workington, and again they didn't ID me, which I found quite strange because I was like I said, like 13. I got covered up with the exact same thing, you know, Morton, but it looks a little bit better now. So.
The first one I did, I was shitting myself. Can I say that? and it was on my colleague's leg, and it said, was it Slayer? Like his nickname, and I was shaking all over the place, sweating. Oh, it was horrible. But I think it does take time to get into it, like, so you're confident enough. I loved it, but it was really scary.
The first tattoo I did was on my own leg, and that was with Tony watching me. That was my first one.
There was about 3 or 4 of us got this little, it was really rubbish, got this little tattoo. It was like a, I can't remember what it was like a little symbol with brothers on it, you know what I mean? We were like 14 type thing, you know, it was pretty cool. I mean, they're all rubbish, half of them have had them covered up. I think only 2 of them actually still have them, and they're not very good because obviously they were done with a homemade tattoo gun, you know?
Yeah, I'd say most tattoos have some sort of meaning behind them or some sort of symbolisation for why I've got them. But then some of them are just random because I like the design, and I think that sometimes even if they don't mean anything, they remind you of the time you got them. So, I think one of the most important tattoos to me is my Phoenix, and it's half sleeve, and Phoenix sort of symbolises like rebirth and like, you know, like rising from the ashes and sort of coming around from sort of like bad things that have happened. And like in my childhood I was abused, and like a lot of bad things went on, so I feel like to me my Phoenix symbolises like that I've rose from that, and that I've had to like sort of restart my whole life and make a change for myself.
Just the one. It's just my swallows on my arm that represent me, my mum and my dad. I just drew one swallow, seen the line of 3 of them, and then it just looked nice. I thought it represented me leaving the family, if you will, to go do other stuff. I've got a portrait of my granddad on my arm, and that's about the meaningful one I've got, really.
Right, yes, I've got one on the back of my leg. It's a portrait of a very, very good friend of ours. guy named Marty. He was a good lad, drank a bit too much, smoked a bit too much, but he had a good attitude on life. So after he passed away, I got one in remembrance of him, because no matter what happens, you know what I mean, you've got to enjoy yourself. You're not here long, are you? You know what I mean?
I think it's, yeah, progress. Obviously, I wasn't here 30 years ago, but I think it's definitely progressed a lot. Like, you know, a lot of people are getting, you see different people, you know, even grandmas and stuff now getting them. Yeah, I think that it's more acceptable, definitely. It's progressed.
Massively, hugely. When you look at like the old Sailor Jerry stuff, like 20 years ago, it was all very basic. And there's a lot, I think now in the industry, there's a lot more people who are actually artists doing it, you know, as opposed to someone who could just do very basic design, you know. I mean, if you look at some of the artists that are coming out now, some of the work's incredible, you know what I mean? Something to really aspire to, you know.
Really just because of how in the old day when it was, well, not in the old day, but 60s, 70s, like I said, it's just amateurs liking certain designs and putting it on their own body and leaving it at that. But now it's become artists getting into the actual tattooing work, picking a tattoo gun up and actually learning how to do it, as well as being an artist. The difference is massive between being an amateur and drawing old, you know, green ink tattoos to a full design of a self-portrait, and it's just moved so much more of how professional people are about the tattooing industry now, and it's just become this big, massive way of people living. And yeah, it's just completely picked up and changed since the 60s, 70s and 80s. It's completely different now. Everyone gets them. 16-year-olds get them, 17-year-olds get them, 18-year-olds get them. So it's everyone wants them.
I think, obviously, I don't know, like more people, you know, the art's got better, definitely. So more people want to try it, do you know what I mean? It's always been that thing of, oh, you know, I want to try it, and then once they do, like, they want more, and more people see that, and it's just become so much more popular, like, all across the world kind of thing. So, like, yeah, it's kind of one of them, just like a culture. It's like our kind of era where, you know, it's just taken over, and it's good, I like it.
I think they're a lot more socially accepted now. You still get the odd bits and pieces. Like, you still get, like, I get clients come in, like female clients, who say their boyfriend doesn't want them to get a tattoo, or you still get people that you know, may not get a job because they've got a tattoo on a very observable place or something like that. But I think with like celebrities, and it's becoming cool. It's the new thing, isn't it? All the celebrities are coming out showing off their tattoos, and I think that has helped the industry a lot. I think also the fact that the industry's, you know, it's a lot cleaner. You know, I mean, you know, when you come into as long as you go into a good shop, if you go into a good shop, you're going to get, you know, responsible, good artists, you know, who have got clean practices, you know what I mean, who won't cross-contaminate and stuff like that. So I think it's becoming more and more socially accepted, especially the more times you see it in the media, you know, the more celebrities you see with it. That I mean, it can be, to some artists, sometimes it can be a bit of a, you know, a bit of a pain, but it does the industry good, to be honest. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people see that and they want a tattoo. It's becoming cool. There's going to be a lot of tattooed grannies and granddads, basically, isn't there? You know what I mean? So, yeah. But I think it's a lot more socially accepted now compared to what it was, say, even when I was in my 20s. You know, back in New Zealand, it wasn't. Even then, it wasn't socially accepted. You know what I mean? You were looked as a thug or a bogan. You know what I mean? And I think now, because more people have them and they're more open, people get them in more observable, you know, more open, you know, like on the hands and stuff like that. It's becoming a lot more socially accepted. But you still get things like the Daily Mail, like that article the other day. You know, you still get them ranting and raving, but they're just a bunch of idiots. So, you know what I mean?